Okay, good morning. Welcome back, everybody, to another market open. We are here. It is March 29th, 2023. We have 2 days left in the month of March, and we are moving forward until April. No pre-market open. Nope. Today, we were not able to do the pre-market open. Had a bunch of little errands I had to run in the morning. That'll be back tomorrow. But we are here for the market open. We're at least here for opening up the market. Paul, Jason, Felicia, Arvin, Aaron, Ray, Cameron, Johnny, thank you for being here. You guys caught some of the Palantir discussion we had on Finance Junkies last night. It was heated. It was a good discussion. We got into a nice little debate. We had like 240 people there kind of like watching that debate. So I think that was exciting. I'll make a clip of it today and I'll post it on the channel. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was good. It was a fun little discussion. Miyoko, what's up? Philip, Matias, what's up? Hey, Amit, don't let Carlos and Vitaly get to you, Palantirs. I've been hearing the same nonsense from Carlos and Vitaly for like 7 months now. If you go to their channel, they decided they hated Palantir back in March 2022. That's how I got to know them, actually. I got to know them by just by learning about how much disdain they have for Palantir. And I went on their channel in March 2022 as I'm going to pull up Webull right now. And we were just talking and they were like, yeah, this guy Karp, he sounds like a poet. And I'm like, yeah, but like the tech and all. And they're like, yeah, but this guy Karp is, and I'm just like, all right, so you obviously don't want to, you don't want to have a real discussion here. But I got to know them and we ended up becoming good friends. Vitaly became an investor in my startup, all this stuff. So, I love the guys. It's just, I just don't think they get Palantir, which is fine. It's look, it is what it is. It's okay. You don't have to get it, but it's not like someone wasn't here explaining it. Harshit, what's up? Thank you for being here. Last night was a classic. Awesome. I'm happy you guys enjoyed it. Good morning. You won the debate. Yeah, I mean, I think I won the debate too, just because like they didn't have an answer to a very simple question, which was the tech. You can say whatever you want about Karp. I don't think Karp is, 80% of the challenge. Karp is a big part of Palantir, but he's not 80% of it. The tech matters, and they don't really get the tech. Now, if you disagree with the technology, then sure. That's like me saying I disagree with Tesla's EV capabilities. Like then we have a debate. But if it's just about Elon Musk buying Twitter and he's distracted, that's not a debate, right? That's basically what they were saying. Karp is just like, they're trying to ad hom the CEO. I'm like, all right, that's not a debate. Bubba, okay, Joel, Harshit, thank you all for being here. Yeah, let's get into the Palantir partnership first before we get into the market. So this is the Royal Navy and Royal Marines have partnered with Palantir to announce them as a premium platinum partner. So let's get into this one real quick, and then we'll get into the rest of the market. The Royal Navy and Royal Marines charity RNRMC are pleased to welcome Palantir to its bridge partnership as platinum partners. The platinum tier is the highest corporate partnership that they can offer, and it's extended to companies who wish to work closely with the charity and pledge to support its own vision. For a decade, Palantir has provided cutting-edge data operations software to the UK Armed Forces and their military. Their mission is to help the MOD complete and win by revolutionizing decision-making and operations of defense to exploit its data to better than its adversaries. So this is in the UK, the Royal Navy and Royal Marines charity. So this is another UK partnership, which is great. Palantir has worked jointly with the charity for many years, from fundraising for them and during the 2019 Hero Cycle Challenge to their involvement in numerous Tragaflare night events. Guy Williams, head of UK Defense and National Security at Palantir Technology, said, "We are proud of our continued support to the Royal Navy and Royal Marines charity. As a key partner to the mod for over a decade, Palantir Technologies understands the importance of ensuring service personnel and veterans have the right support they need. The Royal Navy and Royal Marines charity provides us with just that, and we look forward to witnessing the benefits of their impactful work to the armed forces in 2023. Adrian Bell, CEO, says, "We are pleased to welcome Palantir into our Platinum Corporate Partnership tier. Palantir has been particularly significant in supporting our vital work, helping the Royal Navy community and their families. We have taken great pleasure in working closely with them." Now, when they mean Platinum Partner, I don't necessarily think this is a deal. I think this is almost like a sponsorship that Palantir has joined in the context of working with another company, right? So Platinum Partner meaning kind of they are a platinum tier partner that works with this company in order to help them. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean there's money coming to Palantir. That doesn't necessarily mean there's like some deal they're going to get. What that does mean is their improved relations and standings within the UK. I think to me, this is just another way for them to guarantee the NHS deal. The UK is their biggest offense. They have 91 million from the UK Ministry of Defense. They've been supplying UK armed forces with data operational platform operational platform to utilize data in mission critical situations for the past decade. So them being a platinum partner for a company like, or for a organization like the Royal Navy and Royal Marines Charity is just another way for them to have a foothold presence in the United Kingdom. And that gives them another greater opportunity to continue to improve relations in the UK and eventually get this NHS deal that is pretty much all but theirs. So that's what the partnership kind of looks like in the way that it's working. Scott, what's up? Thank you for being here. Reading is hard in the morning. Definitely. All the great entrepreneurs think in visionary terms. Job is like that. Musk is like that. Karp is like that. Yeah. And, you know, at the end of the day, I don't know if Karp is a Musk type figure, and he's not running a consumer product, so it's hard for that to be the case. But this is where the knowledge of Palantir becomes important. Yes, it's not a consumer product, but if you really get what they're doing and you listen to Karp and you listen to his vision, it doesn't have to be a consumer product for it to be massively, massively impactful throughout the world. But you've got to actually take the time to understand what they are trying to do. And then realize that this feels like a buying opportunity more than it feels like a dead stock, because you're like, oh, at this valuation, I really do think they're going to be able to pull off something over the next 10 years that's just insanely, you know, deeper than other thing. And, you know, there's just many people that have been on the internet, including myself and CodeScrap and such, and just so many people talking about it, that if you choose to ignore that, that's fine, which is what Battalion Carlos do. They just ignore it because they're so caught up in Tesla, and that's fine. But it's hard for them to criticize it in a meaningful way and for me to take it seriously when they haven't done the research. Like, they could just quite literally haven't done the research, which is the problem. Palantir at 809, up 1.13%. And for those that don't know what I'm talking about, we had a little debate yesterday on the Finance Junkie podcast. I'll attach a clip of this later, and you guys will be able to see that debate. I think it was a fun debate from both sides, and it was good stuff for the community to see. Bitcoin getting back up to 28,000. So Bitcoin rebounding a little bit from 26,000 now that it was down. So it's there. I mean, my man, been a while, and the beard looks like it's coming. Yeah, I got to get the haircut again. I like the beard short, so I got to get the haircut to get there. Plus one, don't agree with all the investment philosophy of Mitt, but he does motivate me to be honest and humble. Well, that's good. That's good. Never have to always disagree or always agree, but definitely we'll have to be able to have discussions, which is important. Amit starts a Rocket Lab position with me. Well, I'm having someone do a podcast with me on Thursday night about Rocket Labs. So that I actually talked to someone last night about Rocket Labs. It was interesting. Thursday, I'm gonna have like a much more proper podcast, and I might just go live on the channel and talk and do that instead of it like an actual podcast. And then we'll decide, you know, should we start the Rocket Labs position? Hopefully I'll get a lot more information there. We got Bitcoin 20,000. SoFi is up 1.6%. I think the entire market is pretty green. Yesterday obviously was a red day. I did a little bit of buying. I bought some Tesla and bought some Enphase yesterday. Yeah, today is entirely green. Yeah, everything is green in my portfolio today, but it's still relatively red compared to yesterday. Because yesterday the market got hit pretty bad. I mean, did you guys see yesterday? Yesterday we got hit. Like by 2 p.m., things were down pretty badly. And they haven't recovered as well. ARC at 37.87, up 1.3%. Let's check on NVIDIA and get back to our semis. See how our semis are doing. NVIDIA is 268, up 1.53%. It was down to 264 yesterday. S&P, look at that, 399 pre-market. We have 33 seconds till the market opens. We got the S&P almost hitting 300 or 400. And then the NASDAQ, that means we'll start to probably inch closer to, 11,700. Let me see if I can turn my good camera on real quick. The battery was just a little bit low there. Okay, so let's switch the camera on that. And then we'll get into it. Thank you, 189 people, for being here. Means a lot to me. Thank you for spending your morning with me. In about 10 seconds, we are going to see the market open and see what happens from here. All right. Here we go. It is March 29th, 2023, 9:30 a.m. Thank you all for being here today. The stock market is now open. Wake your ass up. The market is open. And by the way, if you are watching this market open at like 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. or any of those times, put a comment below if you're watching it right now. Because I see in my analytics, some people watch this stuff at like hours after the market is actually open. And just leave a comment if you're actually watching, because I would love to just know people, or I want to see how many people are actually watching it, when the market is not open. Because when I used to watch like Meet Kevin's Market Open, sometimes I would watch them after the market open. And it was just kind of cool, kind of seeing people watch it after. So let me know if you're in the comments. And this is like 6 or 7 p.m. All right, S&P 399. Walgreens had a great earnings yesterday. 34. Nvidia 269, inching towards 270 of 1.8%. Nasdaq up 134 points in the open, 11,856. We've got SLG at 2150. I bought 20 shares of this company just for Chris. We did a podcast 2 nights ago. Chris has a $500,000 position in this REIT that's having a 16.6% dividend, $1 billion market cap, $12 billion in net assets, $4 billion in debt. One of the only 2 commercial real estate operators in New York that really has a lot of commercial real estate. They own 1 Madison Avenue, so he's really excited about this. It's my first REIT that I've ever bought. So we'll see how much that position develops for me. AMD at $96, Rocket Lab at 3.9, Netflix 327. Netflix doing phenomenally well after a couple of really bad weeks that Netflix has had. It's rebounding. I think the Netflix rebound is more technical than anything. Nothing fundamental has been announced in terms of the company. They've had a good slew of content over the past couple of weeks. They've had You and Sex Life, which I think You is like the best show on Netflix of all time, in my opinion. And I know I'm going to get some shit for that because there's Stranger Things and everything, but I like You. And I thought this season was actually really good. So both of those probably carrying Netflix a little bit. CrowdStrike at 130, Meta at 203, Square at 64. Again, I feel bad for Hindenburg, man, that it's not going down 70% as they expected. That's not happening to Square. They're just because rappers are talking about Cash App does not mean that the app is a fraud. So Square doing really well. Bitcoin 28,000, SoFi 568, AI C3 24, and Enphase 195. I bought a little bit of Enphase yesterday. Tesla 193. I got some Tesla at 186 yesterday. So shout out to me. Bought a little bit of that dip. Amazon 99.35. TQQQ 25. Uber 30. Microsoft 279. Look at Microsoft. Just absolute baller getting towards 280. Amazing. Let's go to Apple. The COO of Apple sold 187,000 shares at about $151, which you're like, well, he deserves to sell that much money. It's $30 million worth of Apple. He's been there for 25 years. Yeah, but that was 27% of his total position. I don't know about you. I don't care if you've been there for 25 years. 27% of your position means you don't think this company's growing anymore. That's how I feel. That's just how I feel. I mean, 27% of your position, really, it couldn't be 15%. You needed 30 million. You didn't need 15 million, right? Like you really have to sell 1/3 of your entire position. And I'm thinking like, yeah, what else does Apple have left to grow? I'm not saying they're not going to grow. I'm just saying the car is not happening. iPhones and Macs are kind of boring now. And then you've got mixed headsets. I don't think the virtual reality thing is going to be that important. So I can understand why it's not that Apple's like a candidate to short or put, or that they're a bad company. They're still going to do amazing. It's just that they're $30 away, 4% from all-time highs to become a $3 trillion company. I don't know if the market lets it become a $3 trillion company, because if they become a $3 trillion company, they're 7.5% of the S&P. The S&P has to rocket as well. So the entire market has to be ready to move to that next level of that next chapter of what we've seen over the past couple of years if we let Apple get to 3 trillion, which I don't think we're going to let happen, which is why the guy sold. So, and I would not be buying Apple right now either, especially when the COO is selling, 30% of your position. Okay, what do we have? See some of the comments. VLD is the way. Yeah, I gotta look even more into VLD. Watched last night. It was great and entertaining. Awesome. Happy you guys enjoyed it. That was cool. I've been watching Apple for 30 years now, and yeah, I'm not into it. And Steve Jobs isn't there to save them. And yeah, and they've done a great. They were 500 billion when Steve Jobs passed away, and they've gone up to 2.5 trillion. So Tim Cook has done a great job, but it's at the end of the. I don't know whether there's that much. Justin says, "Dude, is how old you want him to take his shares to the grave?" I do not want him to take his shares to the grave. I'm just saying you didn't have to sell 30% of your position. Like if you think Apple's going to have another good 4 years, I think he's 60. You could be 65 and sell it at 250 a share, right? You don't have to sell 30% of your position. That's a lot of shares, man. That's like, I can understand if it was 2, 3, 4, 5, 6% and still bank on millions. 30% is a lot of money. I mean, that's a lot of the shares. So that's how I feel about that. What else do we have? Amit, good morning. Sure, I am a chairman of an M&A firm, and I love your content. You are a rock star. That's so dope. Thank you for being here. That's super, super dope. Watching from Germany. That's awesome. Thank you all for being here. That's super, super, super dope. Okay, let's get into the talking heads and see what they are speaking about. and then we'll get into some other news. We have some news about Credit Suisse and some whistleblowers that are there, which is just the saga becomes more interesting and interesting as this evolves. All right, we are going to look at a clip about price and job data. And the primary reason we are clicking on this clip has to do with price and jobs data, but it also has to do with something else. And you guys will see as we get into the clip.
So look at the markets now with Gunjan Banerjee, markets reporter at the Wall Street Journal and CNBC contributor. Gunjan, I just need you to explain to everyone how you view what you call a recession trade. And it's interesting and it's nuanced, but it actually, it's like technology stocks do better. I guess because if a recession's coming, rates don't keep going up, multiples don't contract, and people run to the growth that's still left with the innovators that may have left some of the other, I don't know, companies that do boring things, staples, things like that are hurt in a recession. Is that what a recession trade is?
That's right, Joe. And I think that's what the recession trade over the past few years during the COVID-19 pandemic has evolved to be, where in times of stress, people are piling into treasuries. We've seen that lately. People are piling into gold. Gold prices recently hit the highest levels in around a year. And people have piled into the NASDAQ, anticipating those lower interest rates. And we've seen investors dramatically reprice the chances of a Fed rate cut later this year. And I think that shows you that people are betting on a downturn later this year. And that's just escalated during the recent banking crisis. I think the challenge is when we look at a lot of this economic data, whether it's the recent jobs figures, recent inflation figures, and even our personal lives. You know, I was trying to book a trip to Maine recently and hotels were just booked solid. We just don't see a lot of signs that the downturn is here yet. So that really ups the ante for some of the figures that we'll see this Friday with the price data and the jobs figures next week.
So there had been a pause in that trade. So we had seen it, you described it, it had been for the last couple of years, but until the recent tumult in the financial sector, that wasn't a trade, but now it's returned. And do you think this is going to last this time, or have we already stemmed the banking crisis?
I mean, that's really the crux of it, isn't it, Joe? Think about last year when people were positioning for cyclicals. Everyone going into 2023 was saying, we think, you know, bond prices are going to continue to fall. We think yields will continue to rise. You saw a lot of people positioning for cyclicals to rally. And, you know, we're just a few days away from the end of this quarter, and that has not panned out at all. And, you know, one word of caution for investors is that this trade has returned from time to time. Thinking of last summer when we saw tech rally, we saw bond yields drop dramatically, but it did prove to be short-lived. So I think the big question is, how much longer does this last? And does the inflation print on Friday lead investors to say, hey, we think the Fed is going to keep raising interest rates, not cutting them because of this inflation problem that's still sticking around a lot longer than many people expected.
We haven't been talking about waiting. In fact, I remember when we said, well, it was about 3-4 weeks ago, we're asking Leisman, well, when are the next really important inflation numbers? And we talked about it. But in the meanwhile, we had, you know, Signature Bank, Silicon Valley Bank shares, but there is a big inflation number coming on Friday. If that's hot, I don't know how you set yourself up for that. That you're kind of getting it hit. Those are two opposing forces that are hitting.
What's the inflation number coming out on Friday? Is it the PCE? It's not the CPI. So what do you guys know what number? Because I don't know what number is coming out on Friday. Let me know if anyone knows in the comments. I think it's the PCE. I might be wrong. It's definitely not CPI or PPI. That we just got that. So, and that, we're not gonna get that till April again. So let me know what you guys know what that is. In the meantime, apparently Elon Musk and other tech leaders have called for a pause on dangerous race to make AI as advanced as humans. In an open letter signed by Musk and Apple co-founder Steve Wozniak, technology leaders urged for a 6-month pause to the development of such advanced AI, saying it represents a risk to society. Musk, who's one of OpenAI's co-founders, has criticized the organization a number of times recently, saying he believes it's diverging from its original purpose. This is really interesting So let me share the screen. This is the open letter. Pause giant AI experiments, an open letter. It has 1,100 signatures. And apparently Elon Musk has signed this signature. Look at this. Elon Musk, Steve Wozniak, some other people, Stuart Russell, Berkeley professor of computer science, Andrew Yang. Wow. This is interesting. I think this is real. I mean, CNBC is reporting it. It seems kind of legit. I also saw it on Twitter like an hour ago. If Elon Musk signed this, it must think he must really feel that there are some issues going on with AI, and particularly the advancement of AI and the way that OpenAI is trying to get it out into the world. And as a result of that fear of how rapidly they are moving, and by the way, they're moving that rapidly in a for-profit orientation now that they're partnering with Microsoft, he might be a little scared of what's kind of going on there. Elon spreading FUD. Elon spreading FUD. Oh, it's PCE. Okay. PCE and quarter GDP. Okay, good. So we'll see. So that will be important on Friday. That's interesting. I mean, look, I think Elon's a bit genuine in doing this because, again, he invested in OpenAI. He's constantly talked about the risks of AI. He said the thing that keeps him up at night is about the threat of AI. And then you got Sam Altman kind of saying, yeah, we don't really care. Microsoft's going to give us money and we're going to try to take this thing to the moon and see how big it can get. Now, I think Sam Altman also cares about it. He's also the CEO, co-founder of OpenAI. But this letter, if you got these two signatures, Elon and Steve, either they just don't get it or they get it more than everyone else. And, this letter is obviously symbolic. It's not really going to do anything, but it is a hell of a statement for them to sign that type of a letter and, tell them to stop working on this stuff. Interesting. What is the Palantir partnership? It's more of like a sponsorship that Palantir is doing for an organization. It's in the Royal Navy in the UK. So it's less of a deal partnership. It's more of a platinum sponsorship they're doing. But if anything, it's really just good for their relationship with the UK and enhancing the ties they have with the NHS. So that's kind of the core thing that we're looking at. All right, let's take a look at this. Earnings will soon drive equities markets. We have earnings coming up really in this month. Let's take a look at if we think earnings are going to drive the markets up or down.
If he is sticking with that view is Joe Amato. He's the president and chief investment officer of equities at Neuberger Berman. And Joe, welcome. This was a broad call by the firm, just thinking that inflation was going to be pretty sticky and that as a result, the Fed would have to hike rates. But all of the things that we've seen happen in the financial industry to this point, the banking crisis, has a lot of market players betting the opposite at this point. There's tons of turmoil, not just in equities, but also if you look at the 2-year note. What do you think at this point?
Well, thanks for having me this morning. It certainly points to the challenge that the Fed has, right? Because it's got two challenges in front of it. First, the inflation issue, which you referenced, and our view has been that a number of the stickier components of inflation were going to be pretty resilient over the course of the year and probably end the year more in the 3.5 range than where market expectations have been, which is a bit more modest than that. Now, at the same time, of course, a few weeks ago, you had this financial stability issue, right? So the Fed's trying to compartmentalize these two challenges and dealing with inflation by continuing to raise rates, tighten financial conditions, but at the same time, use other tools in the toolbox to deal with the situation that, of course, we all that exploded on the scenes a couple of weeks back. Our view is that I think the Fed, for all intents and purposes, the hiking cycle is coming to an end. We think they may go one more time. If it wasn't for, of course, the Silicon Valley issues, we think the Fed would probably have been more aggressive, but clearly they need to pull back and slow that rate of tightening of financial conditions because the market is doing it for them, right? Banks are going to pull back on lending given the situation that we're dealing with, and that's going to serve to do some of the Fed's job for them.
Joe, the weird thing is watching equities. You're still talking about the market up today. You're talking about the S&P right around the 4,000 level where it's been bouncing around. All of this bad news, everything from a banking crisis to the idea that companies are not going to be able to meet earnings expectations, has that all already been priced in?
That, I think, is one of the most important things Becky just said, and we'll look at his answer in a second. But again, an entire banking crisis, the likes of something we haven't seen since 2008, not as bad as 2008, but we haven't seen it since 2008. Earnings not really meeting expectations. Again, earnings not being horrible, but earnings definitely not beating expectations across most of big tech. And still, the S&P the market is not letting it fall down to that 3,000, 3,200 type of level. And so one could argue all of that is priced in, and it really doesn't matter anymore as we go forward.
It's pretty amazing. I mean, if you think about where we are today, we're about at the end of the quarter, and stocks are up 3.5%, 4%, whatever. The fixed income markets, bonds are essentially up 3-ish%. So, it doesn't really demonstrate how volatile the quarter's been, as you said. The economy is proving to be pretty resilient, right? The consensus right now for the first quarter GDP is roughly in the 2.5 range. We're about to see first quarter earnings. Now, first quarter earnings, I think, are going to be an important determinant in terms of the next phase of where the market's going to go. Expectations right now are for first quarter to be down sort of mid-single digit percentages. Again, not that bad, and I think that's partly why the market's up. But I think when you think about the S&P 500, it really is two components, right? There is a half a dozen or so mega cap technology companies, right? They're up strong this year. They're up 20% in aggregate or so. The rest of the market is essentially flat for this year, right? The mega caps trade at 27, 28 times earnings, and the rest of the market's at 15, 16 times earnings. So it really shows the dichotomy when you're using the S&P as a broader market gauge.
I guess my question is, would you be telling people to buy if you think the rate hike cycle is done, or like Mike Wilson has been out there saying that he thinks it's going to be the end of a bear market, but a pretty violent and painful one? Do you tell people to buy now or wait for better prices?
Well, we've been defensive. We've been underweight equities for a while. We've stayed consistent with that since early part of 20.
So yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, it is pretty phenomenal. The fact that stocks are still up 3 to 4% on the year, and that the S&P is at the level that it's at. I mean, who would have thought in this year we would have actually got to this level, given all the doom and gloom we thought was happening. But the market is the market, and it's hard to predict it. All right, let's take another look at what's going on. NASDAQ up nicely, 1.32% at 156 points up, 11,875. Apple stuck at 159, Nvidia 270. So it hasn't broke above 270, but it's there, like 269.89. It's stuck in that level. S&P at 399, Coinbase 67. Oh, by the way, I forgot to see there was a super chat. Kevin Smith just put in $2. Kevin, you didn't put a comment there, but thank you for the $2. It means a lot for me. So thank you for the super chat. Super awesome. And then what else do we have? We've got Snowflake at 136. Snowflake's again been stuck at that 130 range as well. And it's been kind of just playing there. Palantir up 2.8%, up to 823. Again, Square at 67. Epsilera 760. Meta 203. Bank of America 28. JP Morgan 129. PayPal 74. SoFi. Look at SoFi running 5.8%, 592. It's just under $6. I bought a little bit of SoFi. I think I bought like 100 shares of SoFi yesterday as well. So SoFi now at 590. Not bad. Robinhood at 906, up 4.4%. It's a green day, folks. It's a pretty green day. We've got Tesla at 194. We were talking about Tesla last night as well. And, if Tesla meets the metrics for growth that they need to in the next 4 to 5 years, at a $615 billion market cap, it very well could be a $5 trillion company. And this is what Ron Barron was saying as well. They just have to meet those metrics. And when you look at the competitive landscape, it's kind of hard to imagine them not meeting those metrics. It'll be more competitive, but, one could imagine that they do end up figuring out how to meet those metrics and really pull it off. Amazon at $100, Uber 30, Google 101. So Google's up a little bit. Did anyone get access to Bard? I still haven't gotten access yet, but if you've gotten access to Bard, let me know if you've been able to play with it and if you've seen any improvements or anything different from what Bard is doing right now, or from Bard from ChatGPT. Tesla's all about deliveries. Yeah, it is. As long as they hit deliveries, then they're going to get to the levels that they need to be able to do. Bard the Builder. Did you watch Bob the Builder when you were younger? Be honest. Put it in the comments. Why do I keep missing the notifications all the time? Yeah, YouTube's got to send these notifications. They just got to be better. Why doesn't SQSP get short? SQSP, or let's look at that. SQSP. Oh, Squarespace. Why isn't Squarespace being shorted is your argument, or why wouldn't you short it? So it is a $4 billion market cap. For those that don't know Squarespace, they're a company that helps you build websites. So if you need to build a website, You can like pull up their thing. They have like templates for like $20. I think it's like a couple of bucks a month or something. And then you just build a website on top of their platform. It's amazing they're a public company. $4 billion market cap. Price to sales of 4.9, 135 million outstanding, or 58 million shares outstanding on the float. I've just never been that interested in Squarespace because it's like it helps you make a website. Like it's just, and like if this was 2004, maybe this would be exciting. Like it's not like Shopify. You can sell stuff on it, but Shopify, if anyone was starting an e-commerce store, I mean, you would have to be like literally an idiot to do it on Squarespace over Shopify. It's like it's night and day, and I've used both of them. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's a candidate to short. I haven't gone through the numbers, but it's definitely not an exciting company. When you have companies like Tesla, Palantir, Enphase, even Coinbase, like Nvidia, I don't know why anyone would spend a lot of money on Squarespace. But they've sponsored the New York Knicks. I mean, they've been around for a pretty long time. I'd never spend time kind of going into them. We got another super chat. Ty Gordon, thank you for your hard work. It's tougher than people think. Streaming daily makes my workday better, and we appreciate it. Ty, thank you so much, man. $10. That means a lot to me. That means a lot. And right when you said that, we got a Patreon. Kevin Smith is now a $7 Patreon. You guys are just like flooding me with cash today. I feel like a stripper or something. What's going on? So thank you, Kevin Smith, for that Patreon. Thank you, Ty Gordon, for that. That means a lot. Means a lot. Thank you so much. Square is doing nice today. Yes, Square is doing nice as well. Okay, let's look at some other clips that we can put in there and see what else is going on. We had the Alibaba news yesterday. Again, nothing too crazy from that Alibaba news, other than it splitting up into 6 companies. But other than that, markets this week haven't been that crazy. Nothing super big, nothing super small. And it's been kind of flat. Let's look at Lululemon sales. They had earnings yesterday. Let me get a clip of that, and then I'll pull up the actual numbers they brought in. They actually did phenomenal, which again, it's a consumer goods product, right? And when you got a consumer goods product putting up amazing numbers, that means consumers are buying products. Consumers are buying products. All right. Not everyone has to start sending super chats now. Brandon, thank you for the $2. I appreciate it. But please don't break the bank. Anyone sending the super chats. I do this because I'm happy to do this, and I'm happy you guys show up, and it means a lot to me. All right. Amid settled debate on Golden Cross. Kevin, thank you for the $1.99 super chat. I appreciate it. But again, guys, I mean, it's awesome that you guys send money, but I do this to build the community, and I'm happy to be here every day. So I appreciate you guys being here. All right, let's look at Lululemon's.
Get into Lulu's numbers further with Oppenheimer and Company's senior analyst, Brian Nagel. Brian, I know you like Lululemon. The stock's looking good after hours so far, up 30% on revenue, a little better than that on earnings per share, I think. But tell me, so many people think we're going to have a recession in the back half of the year. Why shouldn't I be worried about gross margins being down, inventory situations getting better, but there's still an overhang? Why aren't they in a dangerous position if this economy slows more than expected?
Well, good afternoon. Look, I mean, I'll start by saying this is an extraordinarily solid report from Lululemon, and I'll just make it really quick. I mean, I talk to investors a lot. That's my job, and there had been a lot of concern on Lululemon into this report, and frankly, I mean, right now Lululemon is basically saying there's nothing to worry about. Okay, so look, your question's a good one. I mean, I'll answer different ways. One, we've got the gross margin pressures we saw here in Q4, and maybe we'll continue to see in the nearer term, I think are transitory in nature. Lululemon, like other athletic brands, were over inventoried as the supply chain constraints led up. They've been clearing that product. I think they've been doing it successfully. Longer term, look, if a recession hits, we've got to admit, I mean, Lululemon could be in danger, right? It's a high-end premium type brand. But like I said with Nike last week on your show, we're just not seeing it. The consumer here continues to react extraordinarily well to the products Lululemon's putting out there. So could a recession come? Go ahead.
And again, that's the thing. Let me just finish up on Lululemon, then I'll get to the comments. So earnings per share at 4.4 versus 4.26 expected. Revenue 2.7 billion versus 2.7 billion. Again, the consumer on a high-end brand, which is Lululemon. I mean, I don't know if you guys have paid for their leggings, I have not, because I don't really wear leggings, but I don't know how many of you have bought any product from them. They're kind of expensive. Okay. They're not, it's like we're talking about hundreds of dollars sometimes for a couple of pairs of leggings and stuff. So fourth quarter net income fell to 119.8 million, 94 cents per share from 434 million or 3.36 a year ago. Revenue rose to 2.7 billion from 2.13 billion a year ago. Like, this is a product that should be affected by the recession, but consumers are continuing to buy. And if consumers are continuing to buy, that means that Lululemon not only is continuing to advertise, because that's the way you drive traffic to get consumers to buy, which means the big tech companies are benefiting from those advertisements, but that means the entire cycle of the economy is starting to, like, still be normal. Companies have to advertise. The advertisements are working because people are buying. So like the advertisements go, people see the advertisements. They don't feel this type of discretionary pressure with their income to not spend that money, meaning they have disposable income, and then they buy high-end products, and Lululemon gets to be the beneficiary of that. Does that mean it's a buy right now? I don't know, because if we have some type of event happen and this thing falls off a cliff, then we could see it start to fall down. It was up 9% after hours yesterday. But the earnings are pretty phenomenal for what Lululemon has been able to do. Okay. 10 euro super chat from Bike Pimp. I've been meaning to do this for some time. Thanks for all the effort, Mitt. Thank you, Bike Pimp, for being here. I think I've seen you in the chat a bunch of times, so thank you. It means a lot to me. 199 from Kevin Smith. Amid settled the debate on Golden Cross. Look, it was a joke that I made on one of the SoFi Weeklies. For those that don't know the joke, okay, let me just explain the joke. We were on SoFi Weekly, it's like 3 weeks ago, and Tevis, he was explaining what a Golden Cross is. And the pod was kind of getting boring, and I was just like, it's this technical stuff. And I was like, wait a second. Does a Golden Cross have anything to do with a golden shower? And there was this silence for a good 3 seconds where everyone was like, did he just say that in front of 150 people? And I'm just like sitting there with like a flat face, like not even smiling. I'm just like waiting for the answer. And and then Tevis is like, I'm gonna kick you off the pod. It was so funny. And so yeah, look, that's whenever we talk about Golden Crosses, that's what I bring. It's kind of funny. That's all. Dolph DJs, Green Day party time. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Again, guys, it means a lot. Thank you, guys. It's awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Don't cross the stream. Oh, 10 pounds. Oh, I'm an idiot. 10 pounds. I always get those confused. Those are pounds, not euros. Okay. Speaking of pounds, I am down 7 pounds. Okay. Now it might be water weight. It might be some, just weight you got to get off in the beginning, but I'm doing 1 meal a day and I love it. I feel great doing 1 meal a day. Like, it really feels awesome. I don't have to worry about food for the entire day. Just have my meal at the end of the day. Get to work out. The weight starts to come down. It's like, it feels awesome. It feels great. And I'm loving the running I'm doing every day. So we're hopefully getting rid of some more of those pounds. Amit, what is your average in SoFi? I believe it's 580, my average on SoFi. Jesse, thank you for the super chat. Great work, Amit. $2. I would like 2 bricks, please. Yeah, anytime you want to come over, I can just take it out from here, as you can see. And you got the 2 bricks for you. So I can give it to you. Real bricks. Also, Ty said, don't tell us how to spend our money. We're adults. That's true. That's a good point. I probably shouldn't tell adults how to spend their money, because it was so funny. Owen, he was like my 400th subscriber. And this was like back in 2022. I was doing a live stream just for fun. And he donated $65. And I'm like, Owen, you're literally you haven't graduated high school. I know. I didn't have $65 to give away on a super chat in high school. How do you have $65 right now? And then lo and behold, I get a PayPal request the next day requesting for the $65 back. And I love him. Owen's he's a fun kid. He's like an 18-year-old kid, loves stocks. And it's just so funny because he's like, he wanted to flex that he had the money to be able to like, yeah, $65 is nothing for me. Here's the super chat, Amit. Love the work you're doing. And then the next day he's like, yo, can I get that $65 back? I really don't have the money. And it was just so funny. So it is good to be an adult, because then you can spend your money how you want it and not have to worry about being a kid. FRC at up 5%, 14.18. Netflix 1.3, again, Palantir 2.56, Spotify 1.26, Bank of America 1.24. Again, nothing really changed. Microsoft 279. Yeah, pretty overall green market today, but flat, just up about 1%. NASDAQ at 1180, nothing too crazy. And that's it. Amid starting a brick ETF. Yes, that's doing. You still drinking soda? No, I don't drink soda. This whole year, I've rarely drank soda. I do not drink soda. That was one of my goals this year, is to completely eliminate and cut out soda. So that's what we are cutting out. How much do you weigh in pounds? I'm 172, which is not necessarily good for my height at 5'7". At 5'7", you should be like 155-ish, 160 still pushing it. So honestly, the reason I gained so much weight is 2022, I was raising money for my startup, and every day it was literally like 10 different meetings, right? And 8 of those meetings would be rejections. 2 of those meetings would be, good. So and I would be up till like 2 a.m. every night. And then you get hungry and you're just not thinking about anything other than raising money. So 2022, I absolutely let myself go. 2020, I was 138 pounds. Over the COVID pandemic, I got to 155. I worked my ass off for 2 months, got to 138. I felt amazing. I got to show you a picture, actually, if you guys want to see of me at 138. And then I hurt my back, and then I couldn't work out for like a year. I actually really hurt my back. I had to go to a chiropractor, all that stuff. And it was the stupidest thing. I was like lifting something. It was just like I wasn't lifting weights. I was just like lifting something for my mom, and I pulled it. But then 2022, as I was raising money for the startup, that was like the only thing I cared about. And so I just let myself go so badly. And so now I'm getting back on track, and I think I can get close to 150 within the next couple months. And then from 150 onwards to 140. And then I think 145 is just pretty healthy for my height at 5'7". So just take some time, but we will get there, and we will see where it goes from there. Let me see if I can pull this up. But yeah, other than that, guys, markets are pretty flat, nothing too crazy. And that's where we're at for today. By the way, I'm putting my Twitter in the chat. We are 11 followers away from 10K. So if anyone is on Twitter and wants to follow me throughout the days as I cover the markets and Palantir, Twitter is in the chat. We are 11 away from 10K, which is going to be cool because I started Twitter December 2021. So it's been a little bit over a year, and it's been super, super, super awesome. Where's this picture? I want to show this picture. Let me see some of the comments. You should try 72-hour water clean and look at what the research says. Yeah, the water cleanse, there's a lot of research on that, and it works with it. But you had donuts. I did not have donuts yesterday. I went to Dunkin' Donuts. I got a small caramel latte. I don't eat the donuts. That's the difference. I don't buy the donuts anymore. Last year, I was buying donuts. Trust me. Last year, I was Elon last year, eating a donut a day. You know, Elon tweeted. He's like, I eat a donut a day. I'm fine. I don't know how Elon does that. Last year, that was me. I do not eat the donuts anymore, nor do I buy them. So that wasn't that. But it was a good caption, right? Looking for my glazed. It was a great caption for that. Oh, man. I'm trying to find this one photo. Hold on real quick. I'm about to show it in 1 second. Yeah, look at this. Okay. You guys are going to see this. This is how skinny I was. Look at this. Look at this, bro. You see my arms? See, it's not a six-pack, but it's like it was skinny, bro. It was pretty skinny compared to my stomach now. Now my stomach looks like it has a fucking baby in it or something. We got to get rid of that shit. But it was pretty skinny. It was pretty skinny. So we're going to get back to that. Thick emit versus skinny emit. Yeah, I like skinny emit. You're only 5'7". I want my $10 back. You don't meet the height requirement. My super chat. Bro, I'm telling you, with my personality and communication skills, if I was 6 foot, I think I would take over this goddamn planet. But, and I know that's a bit narcissistic, but I was not 6 feet. And so, it's like, I think, God didn't want to make me too powerful. Because if he made me 6 feet, even 5'10", if he gave me those extra 3 inches, because 5'7" is relatively short. I mean, most girls are 5'4", 5'5", so it's been okay. Except the last girl I was with back in college, she was 5'6". So it wasn't, it was it kind of sucked because I was 5'7", she's 5. It's like, I'm looking at her, right, But even 5'9" makes it a little bit easier. But 5'7's like, it's still pretty short for a guy. But nonetheless, it's okay. We can, you can always wear platform shoes. Yeah, that's what I have to do. 6 feet and real bricks. That's the dream. I got the real bricks. I don't have the 6 feet. All right, guys, that's it for me. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. I love this community. I love what we're building. And I love that you guys are here every day and you guys get some value out of this. Thank you all for the super chats. I'll upload that clip of me and Carlos and Vitaly debating about Palantir in a little bit. I think you guys will really enjoy it. It's like almost like a 15-minute debate. And then we'll be back tonight for another Finance Junkies episode. Last night we had like 250 people there the whole time. So it seems like you guys like that show. So we'll be there again tonight at 10 p.m. and keep going from there. Happy midweek Wednesday. Keep crushing it. I will see you guys later throughout the week. Amid asking for 3 inches. Yep. Just 3 inches. 3 inches everywhere would be awesome. All right. Bye-bye. See you guys.